Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So sorry for the slow uploads. It is my busiest month of the year for my main channel, which is a gaming channel over the game Destiny. So they just launched brand new content. So I've been deep in that grind. But right now the servers are down and I got a few free minutes. And I thought I would show you my latest big boy purchase, which I'm very excited about. This is Booker's. This is 2022 Batch 3. So, aka Kentucky Tea is the name of that batch. So, a couple of things. So, I gotta say thank you because this was my Patreon purchase. So, I saved the money that you guys, my patrons, hey, thank you so much to all of you, by the way. If you're a Patreon supporter, just know that that's what I use that money for, is to buy really cool bottles that I want to review and taste and have on my shelf and feature on the channel. So, thank you so much for your support. This Booker's batch, I have always loved Booker's. Every time I take a pour of it, I've never had my own bottle before. I've always paid for pours at bars. Just a couple weeks ago, I had Pinky's batch, which is batch 4 of 2022. I had not tried it yet. So I had Pinky's batch. Before that, I did have Kentucky Tea and Lumberyard, which were 2022 batches 2 and 3. This one's batch 3. I tried them both before in a video here on the channel because Matt Warren, one of our supporters, was kind enough to send me samples of those. And in that video, I said that this had the best nose of any Booker's I had ever smelled. So, bam, that one right there. The Lumberyard batch beat this one out for the final tasting in my ranking, but only just slightly. But I really liked Lumberyard batch, which was batch 2, and Ronnie's batch is batch 1 of last year. So 2022, 4 batches. I've tried all of them and made the purchase to get Kentucky Tea, which I thought had the greatest nose and a delicious palate. So have had it before, but I've never had my own bottle, and I was so happy to buy this one with the Patreon money. So thank you so much. And now we're going to go over it. So give it a proper tasting, proper review. So this is Kentucky Tea 2022 batch 3. And I'll make sure to have some B-roll footage for you too, just to show off what you get when you buy a Baker's bottle. You get the bottle, which is beautiful, absolutely just gorgeous bottling. And then you also get this box to keep it in and display it on your shelf. Really cool. All right, so we're going to dive into this bad boy. I love the bottle. I just think it's beautiful. And the color on this stuff, if you're not familiar with Booker's, it's uncut, unfiltered, at batch strength. So this comes in at 126.5 proof. That's pretty high. That's pretty high. And I should mention that each batch also has its own story, and why the name of that batch is relevant in some capacity. So Kentucky Tea was Booker, the OG. That was his, he was like, why would I drink tea? Why put my water over leaves when I could just put a little water in some high-proof bourbon? And I'll call that my Kentucky Tea. So he's a big bourbon guy, obviously. So that's the story there. Now, I will say that a lot of the recent Booker's batches had been in the 6-year age range. This one's got more age on it. This is 7 years and 4 months and 2 weeks. So close to 7.5 years on this batch. Now, this particular batch, got a lot of mixed reviews from people when it first came out. But then as it's settled, people have really remembered it really fondly. And it's actually a couple of noteworthy whiskey connoisseurs rated this among their top 10 of 2022 whiskeys in blind tasting. So not knowing what they were tasting, they tasted a bunch of their favorites that were memorable from the year. And this one, for one particular guy, he ranked it above every single Pappy, every Van Winkle out there for the year. It made like his number four on his list for 2022 releases, and everything that was above it is highly allocated, really hard to find. You're most likely never going to taste these whiskeys unless you pay for a pour somewhere. They're like once-in-a-lifetime whiskeys. So for a Booker's to rate that highly was kind of a big deal. So anyways, this had just come off of the Lumberyard batch, which was really popular. And so I think that may have tainted some people's first initial impressions, because this one deviates from the course a little bit as to what makes a Booker's, most Booker's a Booker's. Because this one ended up having, on the nose, it's much sweeter. You don't get punched in the face with that heat of the alcohol on this one, even though it is 126.5 proof. It's really sweet on the nose. It reminds me of like banana bread or like a dessert pastry of some kind, like coffee cake maybe. That's what I get on the nose. Oh, it is seriously one of the best noses on any whiskey I've ever smelled. It is so good. In fact, in my blind of this, when I didn't know what I was smelling, I said in that video when I blinded these that this one had a nose so good that I wanted to use it as like body wash, cologne, candles, you name it. I just wanted to be smelling it all the time. And I stand by that. What an incredible nose. But you also still get that roasty peanut kind of a note and caramel note that you get on a lot of Beam products, especially Booker's. That's still in there. But it's just got this delicate sweetness to it. So good. A little bit of leather, maybe even like rind of citrus. And it is so viscous. Like it is coating this glass like oil on the inside. Let's taste it. Oh, man. That seriously takes you on a journey. Like it starts out, you just get sweet. Like those breakfast pastries I was talking about, the coffee cake. It is so sweet up front. And then you get the heat of the alcohol, comes right on the heels of it, follows it into the room, comes in second. And you get that nice heat and oak. So some spice and some oak. And then the finish is more, it takes you so much to a different space entirely. It's almost like herbal or vegetal on that tail end. And you get some of that old barrel funk, but not bad funk. Like, that barrel's been in that warehouse for years and years and years. You know what I mean? Wow, what a journey. It's seriously like, it just coats your whole mouth. That thick and oily feel. Which I love. I absolutely love it. It's like everywhere. And it is not one and done. Like, you take a sip and that lingers for a while. Whoa, what a phenomenal whiskey. Yeah, absolutely. You get that sweet up front, the coffee cake, and the caramel roasted peanuts that you get on a Beam product. Then it comes in with this hot oak, that spice, and the mature barrel, leather, those notes. And then it kind of transitions into that herbal, vegetal dryness on the end. It's funny, that herbal/vegetal kind of a note on the end, on the finish there. I wonder if they were getting that too. I wonder if that's how it earned that name, the Kentucky Tea, made them think of that. I don't know. It could be coincidence entirely. I seriously just want to smell this all day. I guess if I had to get nitpicky, I would just say that maybe this wouldn't want to be your first Booker's because it is very unlike a lot of Booker's in a lot of ways. Where the batch before this one, the Lumberyard, was just 100% just flawlessly executed Beam Booker's. Everything you come to associate with those names, just knocked it out of the park. So that one might be a better, like, first Booker's. The 2022 Batch 2 Lumberyard. This is Batch 3, came right after it, and just took people to a completely different space. But I'm so glad I got this bottle. Thank you so much to my patrons who made it possible. What a delicious whiskey. Let me know if you guys have had any Booker's, what your favorite batches were. I had Pinky's, like I said, recently, Batch 4, and I didn't care for it as much as 3 and 2. So Pinky's batch, it was good. It was still a good Booker's, but I think the Lumberyard was just way better. I thought this one took me to a completely different space, which I really appreciated. And Pinky's didn't stand out to me like the others did. So anyways, looking forward to what the batches for 2023 end up shaking down like. So I'm going to keep an eye out for those. And we'll keep you posted. Thanks so much to my patrons. And all the subs and people who watch these videos. Appreciate you guys very, very much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Cheers. And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.